Okay, so I made a video talking about the Doordash girl situation. And I'm not going to talk about the details in this video. If you don't know what's going on with the Doordash girl, I'll post a short in the description that goes over the absolute basics of the story. And I privated that video because the situation is a lot more complicated and nuanced than I gave it credit for. I was too harsh on the Doordash girl. But the situation is nuanced, mainly because there's so much misinformation being spread everywhere. And before we get started, I want to point something out that I think the dude is a shitbag, for sure. He's a total asshole for putting himself in that position when he knows a DoorDash driver is coming. And I said that in my video. I said he should be reported, but maybe I didn't emphasize it enough. Like, he was in the wrong, for sure, because that's just a messed up thing to do. Okay, so there are a lot of people on one side of this that are claiming that she opened the door and walked into his house, and that apparently there's some mysterious Ring camera footage that shows her doing that, but nobody has seen it. Nobody seems to be able to provide it, so I don't think it exists. And there was also a rumor spreading around that she had an original video where she says that she opened the door and she films herself opening the door. And apparently nobody clipped it, nobody got a screenshot of it. However, there was one screenshot that people claimed was from that video that I did see right here that makes it look like the door was cracked. They say this is a screenshot from that deleted video and the door is cracked, but this is very clearly doctored. Somebody just put a black bar here. And if you compare this to the actual video, this is the wide open door. Like, the whole door frame is all the way over here on this side. So somebody clearly just put this bar here and then said, oh, the door was cracked. That's sus. Because you can see it covers up the text right here. And this is the text from the video that made its rounds already that ended up getting the DoorDasher fired. So the only evidence that I have found of the mysterious video that shows the DoorDasher claiming that she opened the door, or actually shows her opening the door, is doctored. So it is likely that that video just doesn't exist, or that's not what was in that video that got deleted. And then I saw some people say that the guy on the couch has a record of indecent exposure. Casey Speaks here apparently was the first one to break that story. You know, on TikTok, it's hard to tell who was the originator of stories. But from what I understand, this guy, Casey Speaks, said that he found Austin, and that is the guy in the video, and he has a criminal record. And so that's what this guy's talking about.
So it comes out that the DoorDash girl was right. This guy named Austin is the guy from the house, the one that was laying on the couch. And it comes out that he has a disorderly conduct charge for indecent exposure.
So I can understand hearing that and being pretty disgusted that somebody like that would be able to just make a DoorDash order and chill pantsless near the door. However, it may not be that simple.
Now, I did say, if I was proven wrong, I will get on here and apologize. So let me tell y'all something. One of his friends is in my comments, and she's showing the actual paper of which the night he got arrested. Now, I didn't see the paper at first, but I DM'd her and asked her, like, can you show me da-da-da-da-da? Because I will apologize as loud as I said that was the case. But I did see a sealed case that was around the same time. That's it, that's all. So yes, I ran with what I seen, but everybody fucking ran with what they seen anyway.
So he's just admitting that he saw a case and ran with it. So then this stuff starts going around.
So it turns out that Casey Speaks was wrong. I have not spoken on the DoorDash situation simply because there's a lot going on there, and I didn't want to be the one to just jump to conclusions. Now,
I probably should have watched this before I made that video, because that was good advice.
apparently Casey Speaks mentioned that the guy already had a case of indecent exposure before and pled down to something else. Well, the people who know him and have case information are saying that's totally wrong. To this end, Casey Speaks now has a cease and desist letter from that person.
Casey Speaks says that that's the case.
The last cease and desist was not formal because it had no active case number. However, now I do have an active case number. This is now a formal cease and desist.
I'm just showing you all this to show you that there is so much information on both sides. You have people on TikTok saying he has a criminal record. And then you have people saying, hey, that guy made it up. And then you have people saying that she actually has a video where she admitted to opening the door. But the only screenshot anybody can provide has clearly been doctored. It's hard to know what's real and what's not when you're just looking at comments and TikToks and things like that. And that's all any of us are doing. All of us are using social media to figure out what's going on in these situations. And for whatever reason, this video is all over the internet, but it keeps getting taken down for her. And I will admit that's weird. And this video is basically trying to prove that she didn't walk in the house, which I never thought that she did, because again, we never saw any evidence that she opened the door or that she walked in or anything like that. I just want to show you this because this is the video. So I will reiterate, the dude is a shitbag, is a total piece of shit for passing out on his couch with no pants on, knowing a DoorDash driver is coming. That's really messed up. I don't know that you could get any charges against him. I don't think the police would do anything because he was in his home. He was asleep. And we can assume he did it on purpose, and he might have. But there's no way to prove that to the police or anything. And he did get banned from DoorDash, so that's good. So I want to make it clear that I am not on this guy's side. And I would concede that that could be considered indecent exposure or maybe sexual harassment. But to me, calling this sexual assault minimizes victims of actual sexual assault. And I'm not saying it wasn't messed up, and I'm not saying that it wasn't traumatic. And in my opinion, I would say that it rises to the level of sexual harassment or indecent exposure. And the bottom line is that she didn't get fired because she was sexually harassed. She didn't get fired for seeing the guy naked in his house. She got fired when she posted it. And that was really the point of my video, but I admit that I was kind of an asshole. I spent too much time talking about her being delusional and a perpetual victim when I don't really know anything about her other than this incident. But at the end of the day, she filmed a guy, even if he's a shithead, she filmed him in his home, nude, and posted it to the internet. And so again, I say what he did was wrong. What she did was wrong too. Reporting it wasn't wrong. Talking about it wasn't wrong. Posting a guy sleeping in his house in the nude to TikTok was wrong. There are so many people on both sides trying to make the other side look bad, right? There are people trying to make it seem like she opened the door and went in. There are people trying to make it seem like he has a criminal record, and he might. I don't know. But so far, nobody has been able to prove that. In fact, I don't think he has spoken at all, which is odd. I would think by now he would have at least said something. So maybe there is something to that. Maybe he does have a criminal record and he doesn't want to bring attention to himself. But again, that is me just completely bullshitting and making something up because I'm speculating. And that's just what has been happening everywhere on the internet with this situation. So I think the only thing anybody can agree on is that this situation is messy and it sucks. And it sucks for her. She just did something in the moment, posting it to the internet that she just wasn't thinking about because she was probably kind of like, what the hell just happened? And then all of a sudden, all of TikTok is fighting over what is going on in her life. So yeah, this whole thing is just way more complicated than I had thought originally, and mainly because there is so much misinformation and people jumping to conclusions, including me, and it seems like that's what all anybody's doing in this situation. And people are comparing this to the dress from several years ago where people couldn't agree on what color it was, but I don't think that's quite the same. Like, I get that the internet is divided on this, But we're talking about SA and indecent exposure and, you know, the ethics of taking pictures of people in their house while they're sleeping and stuff like that. Like, that's a little bit more serious than what color a dress is, I would think. But it's the internet. Maybe it's not, man. People take stuff very seriously, even dress colors. So, yeah, I don't know that there's any way to talk about this without pissing somebody off. And that's why I should have just left it alone. I should have taken this lady's advice and just not jumped in. I should have just ignored it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys, and maybe I'll see some of you next time, and maybe I won't, but I appreciate you anyway. Take care.